Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Night live streaming from Canadian Starships. My name is Landry. This is Canadian Starships, and well, it's been a while. Life has been incredibly busy. I'll have to figure out if I can remember how to do this whole live streaming thing. But the first thing we need to do is figure out if everything is working the way it is supposed to be working. Please leave a comment over here if you can see me and if you can hear me. That's the first thing. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Lots of sounds, feedback, and echo. All right. That's the first thing we're going to try to fix. And I have a thought about that. Give me one moment, please. Please stand by. Please stand by. I am wondering if that is picking up sound from, is it picking up sound from this camera here? It might be picking up sound from that camera here. So, give me one moment, please. Actually, because I'm running system sounds right now. And yeah, it looks like it might be picking up. Working on it. Working on it. I am working on it. Please stand by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this any better? Is this any better? Is this any better? I need to know if this is actually okay, because I did make an adjustment. Does this, okay, if this sounds okay, let me know that it sounds okay and add like new okay or something. Yes, 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 okay. All right, well, we will go with this setup. So I am running system sounds into my software that is sending out to the stream so that if I play anything locally on my computer, you can hear it. But I think it was picking up that camera over there. So we'll run with this. Let's see if this is going to work out okay. It's been a minute since we've live streamed. Life here has been incredibly crazy. And I am really wanting to get this one over here. I'm really wanting to get the paint down on this. Really want to get paint down on this. I want to get a video out. I haven't had a video out since Wonderfest, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely nuts. Like everybody, I'm surprised nobody's unsubscribed or whatever, because 2,883 subscribers or something silly like that. Yeah, but there's been no videos since Wonderfest, all because this thing here, lean out of the way. This thing here has just been, one, the Steamworks been nuts on it, and two, it's been crazy just trying to get time to work on it. So the goal tonight is to go over everything, make sure all of the window masks are in place, because sometimes they come off during the process of working on it. We're going to need to mask up these things here, the warp nacelles. We're going to need to mask those off. And just make sure that the impulse engine is also going to need to be masked off there. So we'll just need to make sure all that's taken care of so that we can get the primer coat on. Then I'm going to go, well, I won't be putting the primer coat on tonight on stream because I don't want to gas this place out right now with the primer. But we need to get all that masking taken care of. Then once that's done, I will go over the thing again, make sure that any of the seam work that needs to be done is done. And then we'll touch up that primer, get the base coat on, and get to the Aztec paint scheme, which is what I'm waiting on for a video because it needs a deep dive into the motion picture miniatures masking set for this thing. I want to be able to actually show properly the entire paint process on this thing, which I had to gloss over on the last one. So let's have a look at the chat. And we've got Trek Mods here. We've got Matthew Watson here. We've got Stephen Haynes here. Let's see. We've got Keith here. We've got Darth Trent in the house. We have, let's see. Looks like everybody who's been in the chat so far. And everybody's saying hi and all those kind of fun things, saying hi to me, saying hi to each other. And everybody says I sound fine now, so we're good to go. All right, I have my tea, Earl Grey, hot, which I've already been working on here while I've been getting ready for the live stream. So I'm going to just top that up, and we will get looking at that little beastie. I did get a chance, I think it was on the 27th of October, I got a chance to get into a hobby shop in Ottawa. Had to go up to Ottawa to get my winter tires for our Y, because we bought it back in March and hadn't got winter tires on, which I just did all of the winter tire swapping today. So both cars have winter tires on it. We've had snow already. We've had freezing rain and snow already. So we are starting to get into that stereotypical Canadian weather. Yeah, we are looking at some interesting winter weather probably this year. It's starting not, I mean, we sometimes get snow on Halloween or a little bit before, but we don't typically get good solid winter weather quite yet. So got the winter tires on, but I'd been in Ottawa. I stopped at the hobby store and I picked up a whole whack of paints. My goal, I'm just looking to see if I've got the, I have a couple of, it's actually probably over here. Let me see if I can grab one just so you can see. I'm going to go out of focus here. Don't worry. It's not automatic focus or anything like that. But, yeah, I picked up this stuff in a drawer. I picked up a whole bunch of Vallejo paints. I have, because I do like to use the Vallejos on these models. And I picked up where is it? The color chart of all the paints. All the paints. Yep. And I was just going through and collecting a whole bunch of the paints that I did not already have on hand. I have a whole thing of paints, but you know, sometimes you're working on these projects and you're like, oh, I just wish I had that color. And model shops, hobby shops are a good hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. I don't have anything close by. So I can't just pop down the street and get supplies when I need them. And getting paints on Amazon or online can be tricky and take a while and all that kind of stuff. Especially if anything comes from south of the border, it takes a lot longer right now and there's issues. So I take advantage of being in a hobby store. So I think I don't know how many I picked up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, something like that, 22, something like that, of just colors I didn't already have, so that I can pick and grab and have something to go. So, all right. Let's see, anything else going on in the chat? Nothing new in the chat right now. You guys are making my life a little bit easier tonight. I am currently on my own, so bear with me, because there's only so much I can keep up on the chat while I am on my own. So when we switch over to the other desk, keeping up with the chat might just be a little bit more challenging. But I suppose I could always pull up YouTube on my tablet and then see if I could just view my chat on that with it. That rhymes. Chat on that. Okay, let's change profiles, switch account, make sure I'm on the correct one. And let's go to my live stream. my live stream. Oh, and I need to turn my volume down. It's playing an ad, an Air Canada ad right now, if you were interested in knowing what it's playing. But if I keep the volume down, I should be able to keep track of the chat. That might work. How about that? All right, we're going to switch gears over to the model here. And so, actually, no, keeping track on YouTube is not going to help me out here. So, my Stream Deck, when I close it out, disconnected somehow. One moment, please. Technical difficulties. Let's get this connected. 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 Let's just reopen it from scratch here. There we go. All right. If this has worked, then I should be able to hit that. Oh, no. I should be able to. I should be able to hit that button and we'll go to the desk cam view. All right. Here we are. So here is the here's the girl. And we need to go through everything here and make sure that everything masking wise is covered the way it's supposed to be covered. I've got masking on the bridge area, and I've reused the silicone masking from the other model that I used for the observation lounge, which is a handy dandy way of being able to deal with that. I'm going to take my glasses off and get some good views here of the navigation lights. Make sure that those have their silicone, their liquid mask covering on them, which I am pretty sure they do. And there are some masks. Let's see. Can you see that on camera? Let me see if I can get the saucer section a little bit more zoomed in for you. All right. Zoomy, zoomy, zoomy. And panny, panny, panny. All right. Can you? I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I'm going to need a pair of tweezers, which are just on the deck here. I'm going to take my glasses off. I'm going to put them on to see if you can see. I'm not sure that you can see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of switcheroo here. And we're going to turn things around so that you can get a better view of what's going on here. So let me tidy up some of this stuff. We'll just wholesale move this stuff over to another bench, and it'll be a problem for future Andrew to clean up. All this mess that I just haven't cleaned up. Working spaces tend to be messy when I'm around, if I'm working. If it's clean, I'm probably not in the middle of working. But if it's messy, definitely in the middle of working. So I'm going to zoom this out a little bit so you can see this as I'm turning it, because we're going to need to reposition this camera anyway. There we go. And I'm actually going to turn the whole mat. I've found that this is the best way for me to turn this. That way I'm not manhandling the model itself. I'm just going to lock the wheels. All right. This is probably going to be a bit of a better view. So let's tilt this down. I also moved the camera so I could hopefully get a little bit more of a top-down view. Yeah. How's that for a view, guys? Let's see. What might work? An ad cut you off and I missed that. Oh, that's too bad. What might work? What might work? What might work? What did I say? I wasn't even, I don't remember. I have no idea what I was saying. I have no idea. Something might work. I don't know. I have no idea. Somebody in the chat, fill him in. If you know what I was saying, if you know what I was talking about, fill him in. Let him know what I was talking about. It was a long time ago. Okay, in a galaxy far, far away. Got it. All right. That's probably why I don't remember. But if you're in the chat and you remember, I'm going to turn another overhead. No, actually, I guess you can see that well. So what we're going to do, and in fact, I'm going to just mute the face cam for now. I am going to turn another overhead light on so that I can see. It might blow it out a little bit there, but the camera should adjust. All right, so what we're looking at here are the windows right now. So we're just going to go kind of systematically through the windows and make sure that they are all sitting down the way that they should. Now, I think more over on this side, there are ones that we will need to deal with. So, oh yeah, over here, I don't know if you can see, because it's kind of on the edge of where the camera is, and I need to put my glasses back on to see what the camera can see. Over here, there are just some that need to be redone because they are, they've partly come up. So we're going to pull off what's there. Just going to clean some of that adhesive. And let me get some tape so that I can mark where they are. I don't want this tape. Where's my other yellow tape? Right here. I feel like I should have more yellow tape somewhere. I feel like I just got some. Anything in the chat? Anything in the chat? Ken's here. Hey, Ken, how's it going? Everybody's saying hi to Ken. Jody says, I think you were talking about the switchboard. Sure. Says hi, other Ken. Ken says hi to Steven. Welcome. All right. Okay. Star that comment so I know where we left off. So what I'm going to do with the tape is just mark where we need to replace window masks. Because sometimes it's hard to tell what's a new window mask that's been placed over already and what is an area that needs a new window mask. So I'm going to put just little pieces of tape where I need to put new ones. Hopefully I've got some already cut in stock, and I'm going to need to put a piece of tape down over the area on the phaser strip here. That's going to need a little bit of blue tape. It's just coming up a little bit. So I've got some on hand here, some little bits. So I'll just cut a little bit of butter and put it in her batter, and it made her batter better. Just put that down over, and that'll keep that little piece from pulling up. All right, so continuing to check the windows. Let's check the windows on the back. A little bit of debris here. Before I paint this, I'm going to get my air compressor and give this thing a really good go over with the compressed air so that any dust and debris is gone off of it. We have some windows up here, but I'll need to find the masks for those. These all look good. Checking those. Okay, coming around the outside. For the most part, these are in good shape. Better shape than I expected them to be in after all the work that's been done on this. Front ones are good. Rim windows are good. They've had several coats of black over top of them. All right, this side looks good. Move into this side here. Checking all the way around. There's a black one over here. That's clearly a new mask. There's one here that needs to be replaced. So, of course, my tweezers are on the other side of the model. I'm really glad that I picked up this this table on wheels that I can just stash in the middle of the workspace. Makes getting around this model so much easier, which will make painting this model so much easier than doing the Aztec paint on the other one. I have set down the yellow tape, and I don't know where I put it. Oh, I found it. Okay. Let's see. Ken says, very well, thank you. That Enterprise D is awesome. Thank you. Of course, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Oh, I don't know what the audio is on that, so let's just mute that. That's what the paint job's going to look like, and that's what we're moving towards. So, yeah. Let's see. Ken says, I'm currently working on the Revell 1-600 scale Klingon battle cruiser, adding lighting to the cruiser. Very cool. Very cool. I've got a few Klingon ships in the stash. Of course, I'd love to get to at some point. But it's a matter of... Oh, there's a mask missing there. There's only so many hours in the day, and things tend to take priority. All right. Checking the rest of these. Those look good. The rest of these windows look good. We're going to see somewhere around here, I have a stash of masks. And I'm trying to remember where I put those. I've got some over here. Next side window. Nope. Give me one moment here while I try to find my stash of masks that I have for this project. Well, they're probably under these lighting bars, maybe. You guys can't see. Nope. I'm just chatting away as I'm trying to find where I stashed these things. There have been some changes in the shop. Oh, found them all. Okay, good. I've had to move some things around as I've added some new equipment. I had to basically pull my whole desk apart to put a new monitor in place. So trying to find things can be a little bit tricky, but you get to see the saucer while I look. All right, so let's see here. I'm back to the face cam for a moment. Let's see. Jody says, awesome. Can I just finish my 7D cattle bruiser? And Ken says, I posted part 1 on my YouTube channel today. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so I'm looking for, just for reference, I'm looking for masks for these windows right on the edge of the deck 3 area here. There's some that have just pulled off a little bit, and hopefully I've got those here somewhere, because I've just got, like, these are saucer rim window masks. More of those, and I just have lots of these. These are a lower saucer narrow. Oh, these are actually I don't know if you can see, but the odd shapes. Where am I here? Those are masks for skate pods for the 1400E. What's this? These are back of neck regular windows. This is top saucer main windows. I'm going to need some of those. So let's hold on to those. Medium. Upper secondary. These ones are not labeled. Just random ones. Like this is bottom saucer dorm windows. Unlabeled. Oh, these are arboretum windows. These ones I just labeled as a question mark. These are the big ones at the front. This set here is a bunch of the greebles, which we'll need to add. Lower secondary hall main windows. These look promising. Nope. Next side windows. These are next side windows. Come on, I must have upper secondary hall main windows. Back of neck. Oh, I don't want to have to print masks. Hopefully I've got some that'll work. I don't know that I've got any that'll work. What are these? Let's see what size they are. I'll pull one. Oh, let me switch back to desk cam here. Oh, these are special kind. I might have to print those ones. I wonder if I can just force them down. Let me get a wooden stick. Let's see, popsicle stick will work. And let me just see if I can press these in place. Nope. I'm going to have to probably cut a new mask just for that one section. So I kind of just blew that mask away. All these ones are okay. Looks pretty rough up here right now, but that'll be taken care of once we get painted. Let me have another quick look. Just see if I overlooked anything, because those front ones are a fairly distinct shape, and they may be on a sheet with some other stuff that back of neck. If not, we're going to be looking at the cutting software tonight. And that'll give me an opportunity to try to make sure that I can get screen share going with this new monitor. So we might have to see if we can do that. All right, yeah, I don't think I've got any of those masks here. I'm sure I've got more somewhere, but I don't want to take the time right now to find them. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any of those ones. So let's pull up the software. Let's see if I can pull up the software and see what we can do here. All right. Okay. Let's give me one moment here. I'm going to switch back to, oh, that camera got blurry for some reason. Huh. Let's go face cam. And let's see if I can pull up the cutting software on stream. That's always fun. Silhouette. We're looking for Silhouette Studio. Silhouette Studio is booting up. And I may just have to move things around here. I'm just shuffling screens around. Okay, so I need to, I'll show you my screen here in a moment. I just need to find the file that has the masks on it. Deck 1, 2, 3, various sizes. Okay, so I found them. And then, so what we're going to do is I don't want to print a whole mask sheet. So, I also need to figure out how to do this because I'm not sharing my whole screen anymore. So we're going to do a window share, I think. Sorry, figuring this out in real time. I don't know if I can. Well, let's try the screen and see if I can crop it down here. Bear with me for a moment, please. I was not expecting to do this tonight. Yeah, it tries to share my whole double widescreen. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom. And we're going to pan and just share that portion of my screen. So let's see if we can do that here. All right, there you go. You can see my screen. We got this. We got this. And my face is now up in the corner. Awesome. All right, we've got that part figured out. So this is the cutting software here. And let me just zoom in. No. That's how we do it. And this is one of 2 pages of window masks that we have for these. And sorry, one of 3 pages. Because what I do if I have somebody that requests a copy of this and actually have it cut and sent to them, what I do is I cut this, 2 copies of this, I cut 2 copies of the other one, and then I have another sheet that's just these rim windows in white so that they they have as many as they possibly need. I don't think I have any copies cut out right now. Now, I don't want every window, but what we need is this deck 1, 2, 3 window various sizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all of those. And we're going to create a new let's see. Oh, you can't see my menu because my face is covering it. But I want, let's see, print page setup. No. Where is my... Okay, I'm gonna set up a new document here, and I want it to be a certain size. Here, let me cancel my face here for a moment so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm looking for the project settings. Preferences? Default display, import tools. No. Okay, I used to know how to do this. Basically, if you're wondering what I'm trying to do right now, actually, let me just double check here. So 0 to 305. Yeah, because I need this to be, what, 12 inches wide? I think. Yeah. I need this to be 12 inches wide for my roll for my vinyl to work properly. Let's see. Let's go back to this new page. Open, save library, update library, scan, print page setup. I'm forgetting how to do this, and that's bothering me. Page setup. Page setup is over here. So what's the page setup for this one? 304 by 304. So we want 304 by 304. Okay, all right, so now I can copy. Did I copy it? I can't remember if I copied it or not. And I can turn my face cam back on. There we go. Did I copy it? Well, let's find out. I'm going to control paste, and I did copy it. All right. So we're going to move that up here, and it's these windows here I need. So we're going to, oh, I put my brakes on this rolly thingy. We're going to roll this a little bit because we're going to need to bring and my shop is a mess right now. Absolute mess. An absolute mess. I really need to tidy it up. cutting over the vinyl cutter. And I'm going to move my tea. I keep my tea on a stool close to my desk for live streams, so I've got quick access to it. But we're going to put this right here. And I need to find the power cable for it, apparently. Because the power cable is not here. If I were the power cable for my vinyl cutter, and we might just simply not be able to do this tonight if I can't find my power cable. My power cable should be, oh, it is right here. All right. You guys can't really see what I'm doing setting up the cutter anyway, so there's probably no point cutting to a different camera. But basically, I'm just plugging it in. And then I have to plug it in a different way. And hopefully, I'm somehow you can clearly tell I was not planning on using my vinyl cutter tonight. Just trying to get a USB hub close enough that I can plug this in. Got it. Okay. I have a can of air somewhere over here. It's been a minute since I've used this. So I'm just going to blow out the dust. I have vinyl here somewhere. I'm going to load the vinyl in. You know what? I might actually be able to give you a view of what I'm working on here. Let's see. Where is my... Let's see if I can get my other camera showing my printer, because that might be actually a little bit cool. Just have to figure out where it is. One moment. This is all being done on the fly. Absolutely on the fly. No, I'm not. There's no way I'm going to be able to. Well, actually, maybe there is a way I'm going to get this camera over here for you. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it. One moment. So if I can stay out of the way, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see the vinyl cutter and what we're doing. All right. David James is here saying evening all. And Steve Haynes saying hi back. Awesome. That's weird. My tray is stuck. How did my tray get stuck? This is super weird. I've never had this happen before. Essentially, what's happened is there's a tray that comes out that my roll goes on, and it is stuck. Okay, everything is working against me tonight. It's like, haha, you've not been streaming, so we're gonna punish you by not working. Oh, let's see. Ike, do you still take commissions for new builds on the D, by the way? I would, certainly, but I'm booked up for probably 2 years. So my next opening is probably in 2 years' time. So if anybody is patient, and I mean, you have to be patient with these builds anyway, because they take a long time, and they are not inexpensive builds. There we go. A little bit of, what's the term? Force maintenance, we shall say. There we go. Yeah, so I have to get these 2 Enterprise Ds off the bench. That is top priority. Then I have 2 Enterprise, I have to get these 2 Enterprise Ds off the bench. That's top priority. And then, oh, sorry, I need to be on the right screen here. I need to get those 2 Enterprise Ds off the bench, 2 Bear clients. I need to get 2 Enterprise Es, 1400 scale done. They're built. 1 is partially painted. They need to be finished, get to their clients. I have a 1400 scale Enterprise D to do for a client. I have a 1400 scale Enterprise D to do for, hopefully, for Wonderfest. And then I've got a 350 scale Excelsior to do. And then after all of that, I'm available for new builds. And as long as Helios is making the models, I can always get copies of the kits. Let's see. James says, I've been needing to get myself a vinyl cutter. Maybe it won't be that model, though. I don't know. This is the first time I've had an issue with it. But certainly, I mean, you wouldn't get this exact model because you'd likely get the Cameo 5 if you're getting the Cameo. This is a Cameo 4. I think it's a Cameo 4. You'd likely get the new updated one, and but a vinyl cutter is a must-have in the shop because I've just saved myself so much hassle by being able to cut masks. Like right now, I can't find my masks, so I'm going to the program and I'm going to cut myself some more. So we are going to. I'm just going to start that comment, take it off the screen here for a moment. We're going to go to send. We're going to make sure it's communicating. Everything looks good. It says it's ready. And we're going to send it to the cutter. And it's going to make a whole bunch of noise. So hopefully that's not going to be too overpowering on stream. But let's see. Here it's doing its thing, cutting out the masks. So while it's doing that, I will catch up on the chat here. All right. Let's see. What else? Matthew Watson says, I think cut machines are a punish by nature. My wife is always cursing at hers. I've had zero problems with this one until today, but it just, something got stuck. Temperatures have changed quite a bit here. I need to get the heater in the shop now because it's starting to turn into winter. So it could just be the temperature changes playing with it. Let's see. Ken's model shop says, I have a vinyl cutter. Awesome. Every modeler should have one. Ike's, is it Ike? Am I saying that right? I said, I understand these take their time, fine wine and all. Let's see. I do have a big O birthday coming up in a couple years. A big O birthday? Which big O? My last big O birthday was the 4-0 birthday. And unfortunately, it happened right in the middle of COVID. It was 2020 was my 4-0. And we were not able to do anything because there was nothing that you were able to do. Yeah, we would, if you were interested and you had the patience to wait for the next slot, then we would have to have a conversation because they are not inexpensive. And there is the build fee. And then client is responsible for getting it where it needs to go. So for shipping costs or picking it up. With these ones, one of the clients is going to be picking it up and driving it back. The other one is in Europe, so we have to figure that out. I'm going to have to build a custom crate for it. Ken says mine is a US cutter. Never heard of that one, but I typically run the Cameo here. I've had zero problems with it until today. And it just wasted all kinds of vinyl on me. It seriously cut it in the wrong orientation. And wasted. So instead of cutting across the top, it cut this way, which is a bit of a waste. Oh well. What can you do? Let me just look at this, just to make sure it's cut right. Yeah, looks like it's cut well. So I will shut the cutter down. I will unplug it from the computer. That way I don't have a USB cable running across my desk. And I can just stash it there for now. You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing right now. I'm just basically going to cut the vinyl. And again, there's going to be so much wasted here. But not a whole lot I can do about that. All right. I'm just using a cutting mat to make sure that I am cutting this straight so that it's the roll is in good shape for the next time I cut it. I do have a cutter on the machine, but it's actually not installed at the moment because it was giving me some trouble catching the roll. All right. Put the vinyl away. I'll cut the rest of it off here. And I am leaving comments up on the screen, which is a service I provide free of charge. Just going to cut from this what I need. I can reuse this piece of vinyl. I can just run it through as a single piece for something like that. So I'll throw it in the scrap bin at the bottom. And you may not be able to see them. If I get the light just right, you might be able to see that they're cut on there. And there's only a few on here I'm going to need for this. So let me reposition the camera again. Do 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 do. One moment, please. Please stand by while I readjust the overhead cam. All right, and I can shut down the cutting software. I can move my streaming software back where it was. There we go. And we can go back to the desk cam. All right, so we need to replace a bunch of these masks right up front here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them off. Makes sense, right? I'm going to have to clean up. Looks like looks like potentially, where are my glasses? They're on the model. Of course they are. Looks like I may have gotten some primer underneath the mask there, so we'll need to do a wee bit of tidy up. Of course, I move things around, and now I can't find the tool I want. Oh, here it is. I want my dental pick. I'm just going to come in and clean it up here. And actually, I might come in with a... where are they? Things are kind of in chaos in the shop right now. They're right here. I might just come in with a alcohol swab and just remove some of the paint altogether from that section. Because I can remask it. And fortunately, we're putting new fresh primer down. Clean it up a little bit more. There we go. I'll let that dry off. Won't take long because it was alcohol. And some of these other windows we will also replace because the masks just are not quite sticking the way that they should. All right. Now we'll grab the mask sheet, find the appropriate masks. I think I'm going to want to take this one off and clean that up a little bit too. It's the teeniest, tiniest mask. There we go. I can see where they are on here. Let's grab the first one and put it back down over top where it belongs. There we go. Let's grab the second one. The other side here. brand new fresh masks. And we just need to find the ones that are the right size for these windows, which I think I found. These are not them. These are these ones, though. I can put those on. These windows, I don't believe were masked, were molded into the kit. I think I just had to figure out their placement from reference. I'm sure somebody's saying something in the chat, and I will be back to the chat in a moment. Okay. Let's try this one here. Looks like that's the right one. Okay. These all look intact. Just check the other side of deck 2. Let's just freshen these ones up. Could probably get by with them, but we cut the masks, we might as well freshen them up. There we go. Let's take a quick chat break and a tea break. In fact, I'm going to warm up my tea while we look at the chat. Okay. Oh, I should cover the alcohol bottle there. Okay, let's see here. We've got... Where's my mouse? Matthew Watson's 32 says, I think pre-cut machines are a punish by nature. My wife is always cursing at hers. Yeah, I've heard that pre-cut can be an issue. I think the silhouettes are better. But hey, a cutting machine is a cutting machine. And having a cutting machine in the shop, regardless of what kind it is a definite bonus. So let's see. Oh, I thought we were okay. No, we've already seen that comment, and we've already seen this comment. Okay, I guess there were no new comments. Okay, well that was easy. I need to be able to press the easy button. All right. Okay, well, we might as well go back to the bench camera. So I need my tweezers. Where are my tweezers? Where did I? Okay, they're on the desk. So we need to replace the two on the side here. I'm going to assume. Just trying to figure out which size of window those ones likely are. Probably the same as the front. There we go, freshened up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these windows were, none of these up here were molded in. Or were they? You'd have to go back in the videos to find out if they were or not. I do not remember. Actually, no. These were open windows because they've got clear material. If they were not opened on the kit, and if I had to find them myself, they would have been white. So these definitely were kit provided and located windows. That's how I know. Okay. These ones look all okay. All right, I need to find the main windows and replace those ones. Not before I label these ones so I don't lose them again. All right, these are going to be called deck 1, 2, and 3 saucer. And they will go with the other masks. And that way, if I need to replace those again before this project is done, I will have them to replace. Okay. That's a sheet of top saucer windows, but it looks like it's been stepped on. So if I don't have to use that sheet of masks, I will avoid that. So I'm sure I've got lots of upper saucer window masks available to use. So just a quick look here. Oh, I'm sure these have to be them. They must be. All right. Make sure I've got my tweezers. Okay. And I think narrow, the windows are a little bit narrower in this section here. So we'll go with the narrowest of the windows here. Yeah, and that looks like it's a perfect fit. So that mask has been replaced, so we'll remove the tape. One up here. This is probably medium width. And that's what we'll go with. Replace the window mask. Perfect. Remove the tape. We've got 2 over on this side. Those ones are probably the wider of them, I would guess. So maybe medium. Actually, I think the one here is medium. This one looks like it's a wide. Because they're not all quite the same width going around. Squiggle that in place. Remove the tape. And with that, I think the top saucer is probably good to go. All right. Now, how am I going to show... How am I going to show masking the warp nacelles? That's a good question, Andrew. How are you going to show masking the warp nacelles on camera? I'm going to have to move the ship. Just like that. And we're going to reposition the camera. So let's do a switcheroo here while I change the perspective on the camera. I'm just making it so that you're not getting a nausea ride while I move the camera. Excuse me. Tried to mute that before I sneezed, but did not work. So I'm just removing a extendo arm off of the camera mount so that I can... Oh, you should see this view. How's that view? Huh? How's that view? Yeah. We'll get a better view for you. Yeah. Okay. Live camera swapping. Or live camera positioning. All right. Yeah, that might do it. How's that? Is that a good enough view? One moment, please. Yeah, I think that'll work for a view of the warp nacelle and give me some space to work on it. All right, so we are going to mask the chiller grills for painting. They have not been masked for painting yet. And we are going to do that with tape. All right, let's see. Let's get squared around and organized. And before I do that, let's take a quick chat break. All right, let's see. What do we have? New comment incoming. Got it. Sounds completely fine to me. Okay, got it. Yeah, based on what we were talking about before. Keith's off. I'd say good night, Keith. But he's probably long gone because I haven't been paying attention to the chat. That's what happens if you're on your own and working at a different desk from where your computer is. And Jody says, good night, Keith. And Dave James says, I'm getting this comment right away. I think that other D must be feeling neglected right now. Yeah, well, it got lots of love and at Wonderfest, so I think it's doing okay. But yeah, I need to get this one to the same point that this one is. Then we can get all the detail, the detail paint done on it that needs to be done, and then we can get the decals on. Then we can get working on a base for the one that, whichever one it is that goes to Chilliwack. The one that goes to Belgium is not coming with a base. The base is going to be done there because it's going to be financially much more viable to do a base there than it is to do a base here and ship it over. So yeah, but I'm sure it's got lots of love. Let's see. Ken says, when are you going to paint the D? I'm going to be painting this one as soon as I'm able to. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to get it masked, ready for the final primer coat. And then I'll go over it with a fine-tooth comb to see if there's any more putty work that has to happen on it. And then hopefully we'll get that done, get any of that touched up with primer. We'll get the base coat on, and then we get into the masking, which doing the Aztec painting is one of my favorite things to do on these models. So I am really, really looking forward to getting to that stage. I'm looking around for the time. I could just look at my watch. I'm not sure if I'll go all the way to 11 o'clock tonight because I am exhausted from the craziness that's been going on. Just how busy things have been around here. But I definitely don't want to go over tonight. So, all right. Let's see. I need tape. I need yellow tape. Did I do yellow tape or did I do blue tape? Give me a moment. I'm going to check. to see what kind of tape I used. If I can see. I can't tell. I might have to use the blue. Did I not? Sorry, I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to remember which kind of tape I used. When I was masking this thing off. I'm going to have to go with the blue. I think the yellow is going to be too... No. Did I? I don't know. Probably going to have to go with the blue. The blue's a little bit more aggressive. And I think that's what I'm going to need on it. All right. So I'm going to start... with the chiller grills, if I remember correctly. So let's do a switcher. Oh. Let's do a switcheroo back to this view here. And we're going to start with the chiller grill, with the long portion of the chiller grill. I'm going to cut a strip. That was terrible. I cut that terribly. Don't know what was wrong with that. Why I cut it so terribly. It's like the knife wandered. Didn't stay against the straight edge. Clearly that's a user error. So let's straighten up that edge. Let's do that again. Ken asks, are you going to paint it on your live chat? If I am in the middle of painting it, when a live stream comes along, then I will do some of the painting live, and then incorporating that footage into the video likely. But I'm not going to be doing all of it live. I will just be doing what happens to be being done when a live stream comes along live. Pretty sure I did some of the painting live on the other one. I mean, I'm not averse to doing it live, but it'll just depend on how the schedule happens to fall. There we go. First little bit in. And then Jody says the next seems to need a bit more seam work. Yeah, I'm unsure whether it needs a little bit more work or not. The thing is under the gray, you see absolutely everything. When the Aztec pattern goes on, so much of it is hidden. So I'm gonna see how it looks with the once I get some primer on. I'll probably do a little bit of a heavier primer in that area, which will help because it's a filler primer. and we'll see what happens when the base coat gets on, what it looks like, and if it's close enough, then the Aztec pattern is going to hide it. But we want to be able to see the next seam. We just want to see only enough of the next seam because it is a separation plane. So Ken says, are you going to paint it live? Paint on, no, I already read that. I'm going the wrong direction. Howard Sear, you are out of practice. See what happens when you go on vacation and get sick and take days off to watch sports. Guilty as charged. I am relearning how to do the live stream thing. I'm remembering how to figure it out. And trying to get caught up on everything. I know. Life has just been incredibly busy. Ken says, I have the Enterprise D 1400 scale. It's the clear kit from AMT. Yeah, I've got 2 of those in stock here. I've got a bunch of the... I've got some of the opaque kits as well. This is for the client build when I get to it, but you can see, let's not bang into the D. You can see the size. There's a little bit of a size difference there, right? Okay. Ken says, okay, thanks. Jody says, I remember you painting the masking for Aztecs on the first one, yeah. And you showed some Aztec painting as well. Yeah, I just didn't get to do the deep dive into it that I wanted to do on the first one. So I think the masking set deserves to have a deep dive on it. And so I'm going to try to make sure that I do that. Let's get a quick refill on the tea Earl Grey hot. The only problem with the Captain Picard style teacups from the Enterprise D is that they don't hold a whole lot. I think there's something like 6 ounces, which is puny. So you're always looking to refill. All right, let's get another strip. I'm going to cut another strip, which you cannot see, unfortunately. But I'm just cutting the strips with a number 11 and a metal straight edge. And basically I'm going in and masking, putting a strip along the top of the chiller. And I'm going to go back in and add some on the bottom. And then between those 2 strips, I will have the whole thing masked off. There we go. So the whole top section, the whole upper section of the strip area is covered. And so I'm just going to do the same thing now and overlap, and so that it makes sure that I can't talk, so that I can make sure that I am covering everything on the chiller grills. Yeah, there's been a lot of Saturdays I missed streaming. We had a family wedding that I officiated. I was sick, not feeling well. There was the World Series. Basically, all of Canada was watching the World Series. The only reason I was watching the World Series is because my daughter actually got interested in it because all of her friends were talking about it at school. So that's why I was watching the World Series. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have cared. But she was caring, so we were caring on her behalf. Let's see. This does not want to sit on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to try the other end here. I do have, or I will be having, a copy of the revised 650 Enterprise D kit coming into the shop. Version 2. I'm really interested to see what improvements they've made on this thing since the initial version. Because they've taken input from a few of the builders. I have tried to implement some of those changes. Some of them are added detail. They've added the metal armature, which I think is really going to be helpful for the average builder who may not be able to construct their own metal armature. There we go. I've got that strip in. Let's see. Have you used the Aztec decals at all? No, I will not use Aztec decals. I always paint my Aztecs. Pretty much no matter what size ship it is, what scale it is, I prefer to paint my Aztecs. You should turn the model so it's not hanging over the table. You almost grabbed it with your chair. Yeah. The problem is where the camera is mounted, I can't show you. So close, yeah. You watched the series that you should have streamed. Let's see. Dennis is here and says, I picked up the AMT Reliant and was wondering if the Polar Lights Strange New Worlds Enterprise lighting kit can be adapted to the Reliant. I don't know. I don't know what the Polar Lights lighting kit is like. I'm sure that some people might have better input on that than I would. And Dash says you'll have to have your A game on doing my negative Aztec Enterprise E. Yeah. With the blue lines. Yep. Jody says, I think so. You just won't use the Bizarre Collector lights. Okay. Referring to Dennis's question here. So Jody has some answers there for you. And then Ken says, I have 2 Reliant kits. One is the original from AMT. Yeah, I've got a few on my... Or do I have a few, or do I just have one? I have at least one of the 537 scale Reliance on my shelf. I may have 2. But I'm not sure. I've lost track of what's in my stash. All right. Yeah. I just have to be careful not to hit it with the back of my chair. Now, it looks a lot closer there than it actually is, Jody. Okay, cutting the last strip for this side. And it's going to go around the back side. Tweezers. I keep misplacing my tweezers tonight. Now, when it comes to live streaming next week, I should be live streaming, but if I'm not quite on at 9 o'clock, just wait around a little bit, because my wife is going to be returning from Florida that Saturday. She's leaving Monday. Coming back on Saturday. And if I'm not quite on at 9 o'clock, it's because the kids aren't quite in bed yet. But I will be streaming, barring unforeseen circumstances. But she's coming back to our local. She's arriving back at our local airport, something like, I don't know, 10:30 at night. So if everything's on time, which is a big if, then she'll be returning home while I'm live streaming. That one went on fairly easily. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a chat break. Let's see. Full cam for chat break. Ken says I have the 350 scale Enterprise NX01 in my stash. Yeah, I've got. You can't really see them, but I've got two. Two of them over here, kind of behind the Enterprise D there. One is the oldest, like the first release, and it's an open box. I got it off eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. And then the other one is a fully sealed one. Looking forward to building that one day. Jody says to Dennis, you'll have to mount the lights in with glue or something. The relining kit won't have the pre-molded mounts. That makes sense. David says, speaking of the original Enterprise D kit, I was pleasantly surprised to find an ancient 40-year-old DK. The ancient 40-year-old decals still work. Wow, that's impressive. I needed a couple for my future Enterprise build. I needed a couple. Yeah, that's impressive. And we've got Todd here. Welcome, Todd. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've readjusted well to your native time zone after being across the pond. And Jody's like, Todd. There we go. All right, back to the desk cam we go. Okay. Next, we're getting the next strip of tape. Tweezers. What are you up to tonight, Todd? Working on any projects? Or instructions or any of that? There we go. I need a new stretch of tape here now. Thanks to my cutting error on the first piece, didn't quite have enough to do the entire chiller grill. Let's see. Dash says, well, good then our government opened up because she might have gotten there or back on those days from US. Yeah, we've been kind of paying attention to that as far as her flights are concerned. It's nice to know that everything's, they're at least getting back to work, but she's flying into Fort Myers, which was not one of the airports that was had major effects. Because I think Tampa, which we would normally fly into, was affected, but flight times didn't work for Tampa this time of year. And I think Orlando was affected, Miami was affected. had major effects, but the airport she's flying into apparently wasn't hugely affected, but probably doesn't really matter now. Let's see. Todd says, just got back from checking on the new home. Oh, nice. Hopefully that's coming along. Hopefully that part work's coming along pretty well. Ken says, I have 2 toss and prizes in 350 scale. Also my stash plus 4 refits in 350 scale. What do I have? I've got 1 toss 350 and 2 refit 350s. Everybody says the refit is a brute of a build. I haven't done one yet. The main reason I haven't done one is because there's already so many builds on YouTube for it. I'm sure I will build one at some point. But because there's so many builds of that model on YouTube, it would be a low priority for me to do. Unless I end up with a client who really wants one. Probably be a while before I build one. I know it's a lot of people's favorite. It's not necessarily my favorite. I've got others that are higher up on my favorites list. David says, seeing all these Reliant builds really makes me want to build one now, but I know the second I start it, R2 will release their 350 scale. Yeah, the 350 from round 2 is probably it's probably an inevitability. But it's also probably continuing to be kicked down the can because of the tooling costs that are involved in doing that. Jody says, Ken, are you on our Discord? I just posted the TOS Galaxy class. And Ken says, no, I'm not on Discord. Many of us are part of a modelers group that has a Discord, Hobby Time Modelers, and you're welcome to check that out. All right. Let's see. I've got one more strip I need to do, and then I've got to do the front sections. And then I do have to properly mask off the main impulse engine. The saucer impulse decks are not getting masked or anything because they are not lighted. As this model will never saucer separate, and the saucer impulse engines were only ever used during saucer separation. Never did they run when the saucer was attached to the secondary hull. Trying to make this model separate would be a nightmare. All right, so that's the main stretches of Chiller Grill done. Now I've got these main sections to deal with. And we're going to piece those together. I'm going to start with some heftier size pieces, and then we are going to use some strips to kind of dial it all in. So a little bit, made this piece a little bit too big, so we'll trim this off. Hey, the nacelles are now blue. Ken says, okay, when I have the time, I will check out Discord. I'm just going to do the same on the other side. You can't see the other side, but I'm doing the same on the other side. The tweezers let me get it really in close. If you give me a moment, I'll grab the Discord link and put it in the chat so that you can copy it there and have it. How do I do this again? I grab it there. I copy the link. And then I throw... Oh! Todd got it. Todd got the link. Ken says, if I build any 1/350 scale prizes, it will be the toss. Yeah. Very cool. So Todd got the link. Thank you, Todd. You beat me to it. Yeah, so you can go there. If you do, leave a comment in the new members section, which is probably the only one you're going to be able to see when you first get into the Discord, and let people know who you are, where you are coming from, and one of the admins will let you in so that you can see everything. All right. And Jody says Todd. Okay. Wait, did I say Jody got it? I meant Todd got it. I've got streamer brain. It's late. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's been a crazy month or 2 or 8. So if I said Todd, I mean, if I... Take 2. If I said... Take 3. If I said Jody, I meant Todd. Todd got it. There we go. Manas, are you Dennis C? And Matthew says, you need some of Janeway's blend. No more Picard. Yeah, well, normally during the day, I do drink the greatest organic suspension ever devised. Most of the day, I am drinking coffee. And Jody says, you said Todd. I'm just cheering for... okay, good. I didn't mess it up. I'm good. I'm all good. Good. All right. Let's see. We've got... we're going to put the bulk piece, the large piece, on the port side in the nacelles. My son was at soccer last week, and with the young kids, they do a lot of games, so that the kids can learn and practice their dribbling and stuff like that. And they were essentially playing the game Land, Sea, Air, a variation thereof, and they were instead of going like to land, sea, air, they were going to port, starboard, bow, stern, and just bugged me because the teenager who was the coach leading the game got his port and starboard mixed up. And as somebody who builds starships and has to pay attention to port and starboard, it just kind of bugged me. And then halfway through the game, he switched and started getting it right. Like, oh, good. I'm like, I think he's got his directions mixed up. All right. Trim and trim. All right. So that covers the largest areas. Now we're going to do the edge of the chiller grills. We're going to use some strips again of tape. just to get the shape of that looking right. What's Dash saying? Dash says, you didn't go out yelling like an angry parent? I'm sure with the older parents, they get enough of that. Like with the older kids, sorry, not the older parents. Take two. I'm sure with the older kids, they get a lot of disgruntled parents. So I don't need to add to that when I'm just a parent of a 5-year-old who's learning to play soccer because the teenage coach doesn't know his port from his starboard. All right. This is a technique I use a lot on masking for Starships, where I will use strips of tape to outline, because the strips of tape will actually curve with the curves significantly. If you have to do tighter curves, you can cut thinner pieces of thinner strips of tape, and you'll be able to bend the tape around. And I start small, only as small as I need to do the job I want it to do. But I start small on the edges of whatever it is I'm masking, and then I work my way bigger as I move away from the detail. Right. So if I'm masking the curved phaser arrays, then I will do super narrow tape right close to the phaser strip. Oh, I'm leaving chats on the screen again. Don't worry, it's a service I provide. I see some more chat there. I'll get to that in a moment. So I start with the super narrow because it'll mask the edge really well and hug the curves, and then I'll go back and I'll work my way out from that with progressively larger sections of tape. Eventually we piece together a decent mask for the chiller grills. Some people will cut vinyl masks to fit this, but I find that they never quite fit properly. So I feel as though I can get a better mask on the chiller grills if I do it manually like that. All right, let's go back to having a look at the chat here. And what time is it? It is getting dangerously close to being done time. So Dash says, no, you're doing it wrong. Port is left and starboard is right. Yeah. Somebody once said there's a little port left in the bottle. Port left in the bottle. So that's one of the ways that sometimes I'll think of it. But I mean, it's pretty much ingrained into my brain which side is the port side, the side that the ship docks to port on typically, and which is the starboard, the side that is out towards the sea or the ocean as far as ocean ships is concerned. Matthew says, are those chiller grills smooth on the outside? Just wondering how you get a nice smooth tape edge. No, they are. They've got the grid lines in there, if that's what you're talking about. But there is a little bit of a gap in them between the chiller grills and the engine cowling. So I can actually get the tape up inside a little bit, which helps with the masking process. Dash says, so why is some of these chats got the @ for everyone's channels and others they are normal? Is that some default? I have absolutely no idea. I know that the YouTube started doing the @ thing for usernames a while ago, so I don't know if some live streams show it, some do not. No idea. David says, yeah, paint bleed is a pain with the AMT chiller grills. Yeah. I wouldn't like. So, are you referring to paint from the engine housing getting onto the chiller grills? When I do the 1400, I'll be using Wayne's set from like all of his aftermarket parts from Motion Picture Miniatures, and the chillers that he provides are far better than the ones in the kit. Let's see. Ken says, I just downloaded the Discord app. I don't have time tonight to check it out, but maybe tomorrow. Well, we are there. And like I said, if you figure it out and you get to it, make sure that you copy the link so that you don't lose it, and just keep that on file somewhere so that you can get back to us. So you can find us on Discord when you do get there. All right. Okay. That one is done. And I do not have time to do the other one. So I'm going to, for model safety, reposition her so that she's not overhanging the desk, and put Jody's mind at ease. There we go. There we go. All right. So that's going to pretty much be it for tonight's live stream. It's good to be back. Good to be back streaming. And like I said, we'll be back next week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. And I'm depending on what time my wife gets back, I might just need to end stream a little bit early. We shall see. If I'm not quite here at 9 o'clock, just hold on. It just means that one of the kids hasn't quite made it to bed yet, and I'm just a little bit delayed, but I will be here. Jody says, thanks for moving the model. Todd says, I looked it up. The usernames in chat are a test they are doing on random streams. Okay, there you go. There's your answer. Dave James says, night all. Todd says, your names can be spoofed like channels can. Yeah, I heard that you guys had a spoofed channel on one of your, or a spoofed username on one of the HM streams I was not part of, which has also been hard to get to. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to Friday night streams too. As things start to settle down, as we get a little bit closer to Christmas and January, things kind of quiet off. So, yeah, so that must be what they are working on, trying to counteract with that or something. I have no idea. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed. I can't talk tonight. Streamer brain, tired. Let's try this again. Well, everyone, I hope that you've enjoyed the stream tonight. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button if you're new to my channel and have not done so yet. You can hit the subscribe button. It'll make me very happy if you do. But for now, my name is Andrew. This is Canadian Starships. This has been our Canadian Starships live stream. Have a great night, everyone, and we will see you back here next week.